Mr. Dog Poop's maintenance man here. Do I look happy? I'm not. Because Mr. Dog Poop last month made the mistake of a lifetime and bought an entire costume shop. Then, come to find out, half the stuff is broken. This is missing rivets. This is too small. So, maintenance man goes out. I got some rivets. I learned about different rivets. I got some leather conditioner. I got some leather dye. Some tools that we supposedly need. And I'm going to see if I can fix this crap. So these are rivets, and they're used to attach leather together as opposed to sewing. So this doesn't fit Mr. Dog Poop's fat ass, so we need to make it a little bit bigger. I found a belt in the costume supplies, which doesn't really match. It's almost a Indian type design, but I'm gonna flip it over and use this side and try to extend this piece out so that it fits. So we're gonna take this off, drill this rivet out with a drill, and then put some holes in here and attach that so it can fit a bigger actor. So I went on Amazon and I got copper rivets, and I know the copper rivets are just a little copper nail and a little copper washer. And essentially, you just put a hole in the two pieces, put that in, put this on, bang it down so the leather's tight, cut it off, and then just kind of bang it down so it can't come off. It's not really complicated. I did find out there is a tool that you use, and this will allow you to push the washer down, and it has two little concave settings where you can put it on top and it'll give you a rounded end. But everybody that used it went back with a small hammer and beat it down, so I don't know why you need the tool, but we got it anyway. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, we're gonna have to drill it out. So I'm gonna use just a spare piece of scrap wood, put it right in the center, and that took that off, takes that out. So that easy to get it off. Comes off. So there we go. So now we have a missing piece. This piece is way too short. We need to measure a new piece, and to do that, I guess we want this to be able to fit multiple actors. Assuming I'm the smallest person that would be using this, want to tighten it up, set it there. I'm holding these two pieces together, and then looking at our other piece, we want it to come back to here. So to cut the leather, we have a few options. A razor knife with a good razor will cut this. You don't want to cut through both, but you can make a mark in it so you know where you're going to cut it. Cut that with a razor. And that's an extra piece that we don't need. We're gonna flip it over this way. It matches the thing better. And one of the holes actually lines up, but we need another hole. And we need them to be the right size. Now the old piece was kind of fancy. If you want to duplicate that, we don't have anything to do with tooling on it, but we could certainly spruce it up a little bit with tin snips for cutting metal. And they actually really work well on things like heavy leather. And you could take a file or a grinder and you can rub that on there and get a smoother edge than what we did. Scuff it up a little bit so that it's... This is a set of leather cutters, and it has different size holes. So we can cut different size holes in leather by just punching it. And I'd say my holes are about that size. But that'll give me a little bit rounder hole. And we just insert the copper rivet, take one of the copper washers, and this doesn't push down on it. So when you put it on, it won't go down. And the reason for that is you want to be able to take your copper setting tool and then hit it. By using this, we get the leather tight, and then we can cut it off and finish it off. But before we finish it off, let's put the other side in. So we'll lay this up in the right position. We'll get it positioned where the other one was, lay it down, and I'm gonna use this cutter, hopefully cut a hole. Did it? Nope. Plan 2. And a drill will make a perfect hole in the leather. So if you're ever trying to put a hole in a belt and you just need a hole, the drill is absolutely fine. We'll get another copper rivet, put it in, take your copper washer, put it on, and then just beat it down. And that should be tight. So now that should be relatively tight on there. Not completely tight. So the next step is to take a set of diagonals or wire cutters, and we want to cut this down pretty close to the bottom. We're just gonna snip that off. Just cut that off. You can see there's a little bit left right there. And what we're gonna do is use this tool, which has 2 sizes. We'll use the bigger one and beat this down. And that's supposed to round it. Did it? Nah, it didn't really. So to solve the problem, I brought in an anvil, 55 pounds. So that should be good. And now we have something which pretty much matches, at least on a movie set, pretty much matches, and we can put an actor in that. So we're going to use some Febrings, neatsfoot oil. We have a couple different types here. I don't want too big a piece of rag. We tried paper towels, they kind of shredded off on it, so I'm going to go ahead and use some cotton, and you can soak as much of it as you want. And this will replace all the oil that's dried up from the leather over the years, and the leather starts cracking. It is going to change the color. It's going to darken it a little bit, but it also makes it water resistant if you can put enough on. Probably should be doing it with a sponge to just soak it, and it'll keep it from cracking and falling apart, and if it gets wet, it'll definitely help. But when leather sits around, if you've ever had a Rolls Royce or a Jaguar or Land Rover with leather seats, you know that. The leather seats dry up, crack, and look like garbage. Something like this will preserve it. Also, Murphy's oil soap. Murphy's oil soap is really good for regular cleaning because it replaces the oil that you're cleaning out of it with water. So if you get muddy, you have it out in the mud, you want to use something like Murphy's oil soap. But as a treatment, leather treatment, that's what I like. And as you can see, it'll darken it up. For this, we want it to be kind of authentic prop. We started with a holster that wouldn't fit, put a couple copper rivets in it, and now our actors can be real cowboys. Go ahead, make my day! This is a flag holder. It looks like Civil War or something, reenactment. So this looks like, this actually has a copper rivet in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get this rivet off. Yeah, that's not gonna come out so well. So that got messed up because I cut it. I'm an idiot. Now, I screwed this up, so I'm just gonna cut off a little bit of it. Go up a little bit further. go in from the front, push it through. Okay, and as you can see, they're in on the front and they come out the back. And then same thing on the other one. And those are basically tight. I mean, that's super tight right there and it looks good, but we're gonna have to finish it off and cut these off. That's how you put in the rivets. If you want to do it, it's nice and tight. Before it was missing a rivet, loose, didn't work. Now it's nice and tight. So rather than ripping this up and sewing it, let's go ahead and cut this off, drill some holes and rivet these straps on, and we can save it. I'm just going to trim. It's going to rip anyway. It's completely useless unless I have it re-sewn. These are basically going to come in at 45-degree angles. So we can do that and literally just cut. And we'll put that on the front. Let's drill 2 holes in here. Well, you know, if you're using something from the Civil War, it's probably not going to look that good anyway. It's going to be a prop in a video, so have to be perfect. Cut those off, we just need to peen them down. That's not exactly at the right angle, but it's pretty bad. I hope you can do a better job instead of bad angle. Who's gonna notice in a movie? It's a movie prop. Get some neatsfoot oil on it, clean it up, maybe get a little black on that. You can put a little black leather dye on there. I would put the neatsfoot oil on it first, but the leather dye comes with a little brush and a bottle of dye. So the leather dye is just literally just paint, and it'll soak into the leather. Super easy. It's not going to stay on the things. It may stain them a little bit, but that's all there is to it. Flip it over, get the other side, do your straps, put a little neatsfoot oil on it to condition it, and now we'll just post it and wait for all the leather people to beat me up and tell me what an idiot I am and what I did wrong. You can also polish it up a little bit. No, not bad. For a couple minutes, if I wasn't doing a video and I was paying attention and I actually got these straight, that would have been really nice. But you get the idea, you see how it's done. As long as Mr. Dog Poop doesn't see this, I'm gonna be fine. Did I just do the second half of the video without beer?